In this video, let's talk about 8 things you should know about earnest money, whether you are buying or selling a house. First, some background info. Earnest money, sometimes referred to as a good faith deposit, or simply an earnest money deposit, is a sum of money provided by a buyer to the seller in a real estate transaction. With our background info covered, let's dive in. The first thing you should know is that the earnest money deposit serves as a demonstration of the buyer's commitment to buying the property. It shows the seller that the buyer is genuinely interested in the transaction. The second thing you should know is that the amount of earnest money can vary, but it's typically around 1 to 3% of the purchase price. However, the actual amount may depend on local customs and negotiation between parties. For example, in sellers' markets in which sellers have more negotiating power, sellers may ask for larger earnest money deposits or non-refundable earnest money deposits, depending on how many buyers are competing for the house. In any case, after this amount is agreed upon, the amount negotiated is put into the real estate purchase contract. Third thing you should know is that the real estate purchase contract, or REPC for short, will outline the conditions under which earnest money can be forfeited or returned, as well as the date earnest money needs to be deposited. The purchase agreement will also detail the terms of the sale, including the purchase price, closing date, and other contingencies, but those details are for another video. The fourth thing you should know is that once the purchase agreement is accepted by the seller and the buyer, buyers typically have 3 to 5 days to submit their earnest money deposit to their real estate agent, typically as a cashier's check. The earnest money is then held in an escrow account, which is a neutral account managed by the real estate brokerage. This ensures that the funds are held securely and are not accessible to either party until the terms of the agreement are met or the transaction is canceled. The fifth thing you should know is that after the earnest money is deposited into the escrow account, the real estate broker will send a receipt of earnest money to the title company and the lender involved in the transaction to establish the transaction's legitimacy and give the green light for the transaction to proceed forward. The sixth thing you should know is that while the earnest money is being held in the escrow account, the purchase agreement will specify under what conditions the earnest money may be forfeited to the seller. Common reasons for forfeiture might include the buyer backing out of the deal without a valid reason or failing to meet specified deadlines, such as those related to inspections or financing. These conditions are called buyer default. The seventh thing you should know about earnest money is that in certain situations, the earnest money may be refundable back to the buyer, especially if certain contingencies in the contract are not satisfied or if the contract allows for its return under specific circumstances. These conditions are called seller default. However, the eighth thing you should know is that if the sale proceeds as planned, the earnest money is applied towards the buyer's down payment and closing costs. This means the earnest money is applied as a credit towards the purchase price of the property at the closing. In other words, the earnest money the buyer deposited will be subtracted from the total amount the buyer owes, and there you have it, 8 things you should know about earnest money. And now that we've covered how earnest money works, let's recap before we end the video. Earnest money plays a crucial role in real estate transactions, serving as a tangible demonstration of a buyer's commitment and trustworthiness. Once deposited in an escrow account, it verifies the legitimacy of the transaction. Earnest money can be applied towards the purchase price, which means it becomes a credit at the closing table, reducing the overall amount the buyer needs to pay. Understanding how earnest money works is essential for both buyers and sellers in the real estate market. It helps build trust and confidence, sets clear expectations, and keeps the transaction on a secure and transparent path. Before I end this video, I want to say that I hope these 8 tips help you feel more confident about your next real estate transaction. If you found this video informative, please don't forget to like and subscribe for more real estate insights. If you have any questions or want me to dive deeper into any related topics, feel free to leave a comment below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.